Hi, Jim here. Today we're going to start the first in a series of learning how to budget your money. I'm pretty excited about this. For a long time, I wanted to do a YouTube series on this to try to reach as many people as I can. Over the past years, I have worked with a lot of different people, not on a professional level, but on a personal level in creating their own budget and making it work for them. I hate seeing people struggle with money. Uh, I never really struggled with money because I got to start at such an early age, 8 years old. That's when my dad started teaching me by letting me sit next to him when he was doing his budget. I would just watch. I was told, don't speak, watch. So that's what I did. Um, Here I am many years later. My budget's just really solid. It's in play. It's working good for me. I've accomplished quite a bit with not a whole lot. And I really want to show you how to do the same. Um, this is not going to be a college course. I'm not going to sit and ask you to take all kinds of notes, although you can take notes if you want. I'm thinking the first video or two, we need to talk about a few basics. And I've kind of broken it down into three different areas: building a budget, mindset, and discipline. Um, Mindset's kind of where I want to start. Uh, Having a proper mindset to budget your money is like key. And I think that for most people that are really struggling with their money and want to learn to budget, they kind of have to be at a place where they're just tired of thinking about money. They're tired of struggling with it. They're tired of not having enough. They're tired of always wondering where the food's going to come from. They're tired of looking at all the toys and the things that they would like, thinking, I can't afford any of this. And you kind of get to a place where you either give up and you go out and get yourself in debt clear up to your neck to try to afford this stuff, or you just give up and you don't have any of it and struggle. There is an alternative, and that's to learn to budget your money so that you can have the things that you really want. So I think one of the things that you're going to have to do in the very beginning is you're going to have to really look at your own mindset, and you're going to have to ask yourself, hey, am I tired of this? Am I ready to do this right? Am I ready to get my finances in order? Am I willing to put in the work up front to do that? Um, Building a budget, I've been thinking a lot about this so that I have examples to show you. It's a lot like a diet. Um, when people are really overweight and they struggle, starting that diet is hard. Man, it's tough, believe me. I know diets, and they're hard to start. And rarely do they work if you don't have the right mindset. People start out with a big head of steam, and they go in and they spend all the money and they buy all the products, and they're going to do all this and change their life radically, and then it just becomes way too difficult and it tapers off and it ends. Pretty much the same way with a budget. You don't want your budget to take over your life, but you do want your budget to work, because when it's working properly, it'll simply just enhance your life. So a proper mindset in the beginning is like key. And so one of the things that I would suggest that you do, you go in the bathroom or wherever there's a mirror, and you stand in front of that mirror where it's quiet, where nobody's going to be watching, you're not embarrassed, and you're not looking out of the corners of your eye. Hopefully there's a time, a minute or two, when you can do that. If you have kids or whatever, there's going to be a minute when you can do that. And look in that mirror for a good period of time, maybe 30 seconds or so. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just look in the mirror. And look at that person in the mirror for about 30 seconds. Don't stop looking. Don't stop looking. Feel what you feel. Think what you think. But don't stop, or don't start talking or saying anything. And then in your mind, when you're thinking, start realizing, start thinking to yourself, I can do this. You know, I can learn to budget my money. I want to learn to budget my money. I want to do this right. And then at the end of about 30 seconds or so, you've looked yourself really, really good in the mirror. Then start speaking out loud. I am going to build a budget and I'm going to be successful with this. I am going to build a budget and I'm going to be successful with this. You don't have to get all emotional. You don't have to get all flipped out unless you're the type that does that. You don't have to get all excited and out of control. You just look yourself right in the mirror and you say that you are going to start a budget and it's going to work. And I'm telling you, I will help you every step of the way. That's the very beginning of developing a winning mindset. When it comes to budgeting, when it comes to anything, the first thing that you're really going to need to do is you're going to need to know in your own mind that you're going to be successful at it. You know, I grew up as a machinist, and then I became a tool maker. I worked in engineering departments, layout tech on some big projects. And probably the best piece of advice, honestly, that I was ever given by an old tool maker when I was starting out: don't ever cut the first chip until you've seen the finished product in your mind. And by golly, that takes a different mindset, because when you're young at anything, you could be 70 years old and young at something new. You just want to barrel into it and get going. But you really don't want to cut the first chip until you've seen the finished product. So what we're going to do over time here is we're going to design a budget, and we're going to tailor it right to what you need. Everybody's budget's going to be different. There'll be some basics that are the same, but your budget's going to be tailored to you. So I'll tell you what, in keeping this at 10 minutes or so, let me kind of just reiterate this whole thing on mindset. You really need to be at that place in your life where you're tired of struggling with money, and you want to take the money that you've got and you want to make it work. Now, excuse me, if you're not working and you have no income, that's not going to stop you from building a budget. You're not going to have much money to work with in that budget, but there's more dynamics to a budget than putting money in and out of it. First, we've got to build the budget. So let's start with that mindset that we're going to build a budget and we're going to make it work, regardless of whether you're working or not, if you're dead broke or not, if you're making good money or not. That's not the most important factor. The most important factor is the mindset that you want control of your money. You want your money to work for you, and you don't want to be working, thinking, worrying about your own money all the time. So if there's going to be a homework assignment or something you need to do to get started, first of all, look in that mirror. Honestly, have a good look at yourself. Feel what you feel, and come to that place where you're ready to say to yourself in the mirror, I am going to build a budget and I'm going to be successful. Okay, and so the first thing that we really need to do to begin to build that budget, after we get an initial mindset that we're going to do it, is we need to begin to make a list of every penny that comes in, and goes out. This is going to take a while. It really does take a while to do. I would suggest you start with the big things first, like your rent or your mortgage, car payments, credit card payments, charge count payments, income. We need to list them both. You need to take a piece of paper, you need to draw a line down the center of it, and you need to list on one side all of the income that you've got and all of the outgo. I think when I come back on the next video, I'm actually going to draw out a piece of paper and line that out for you. The fact of the matter is that's probably a good visual, so we'll do that. But just start thinking about the money that you spend on fixed income things like credit card payments, mortgage payments, car payments, utilities, telephone, cell phone, newspapers, any of those things, and start writing it down. It's also very important that whenever you have an account number or a balance, that those be listed there. So you're going to want to write down MasterCard, whatever the number is, balance, payment per month. You really want to write that down for each one of your bills. The next time I come back, I'm going to draw out a little visual. I'm making these videos once a day, so tomorrow I'll draw out a little visual to show you how simple it really is. Bear with me, people. This is the first time I've ever taught it online, so I'm going to be working through a few things myself. But the fact is, we're going to get this budget going. So look in the mirror, make a decision that you're going to do this and you're going to do it successfully, and then begin to list all of your expenses. List all of your income. And when I make the next video, we'll just pick it up from there. We'll continue to work on mindset. If you have any questions, hey, there's a comment box down there. Write them in that box, and we will address them. However we need to address them, I'm here for you. All right, people, that's about it for today. Really hope you have a great day. You certainly deserve it. All right, see ya. Jim's gone.